Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode here at the Debate Circle. We are in the finals for the Mount Kenya region, and we cannot wait to crown the champions for the region. For the motion of dissection reads, devolution has done more harm than good. I'll read the motion of dissection again. Devolution has done more harm than good. Proposing and opposing this motion is Bishop Gatimu Gandu High School versus Nyeri High School. All the best to both teams. Team proposition, first speaker, you have 3 minutes.
Nasi tukae kwa undugu, amani na uhuru, na tujitoe kwa ustawi. That is the national anthem. And in the national anthem states that we are one. We are one. Kenya is one. I love Kenya because Kenyans are united. And that is what we are here to propose. Devolution has done more harm than good. I am Raphael from the school, you know it, I know it, where we have come here to win, Nyeri High School. Here to firmly propose the motion that states devolution has done more harm than good. Now, what is devolution? Devolution is the transfer or delegation of power to a lower level, especially by central government to local or regional administration. That's according to www.merriam-webster.com. To harm is simply deliberately inflict pain. That's according to cambridge.org. Now, we are not saying devolution is so bad. We are not demonizing devolution. Actually, we love devolution, but it is the effects that devolution bring. That is why we are here to propose the motion that states it has done more harm than good. Now, let me talk about ghost projects. I want to talk about the elephant, the ever-existing elephant in the room. That's actually currently right here. Corruption. Corruption, corruption, corruption. Has been there since time memorial. What is corruption? I believe we all know what is corruption. A little something here, a little something in here. We know it, right? Yeah. Now, ghost projects. According to Business Daily, NHIF is on the spot for paying 1.44 billion for a project that has never taken off 21 years down the line. This is an example of a ghost project. Money is simply being allocated to a task that we never see. Simply because we know NHIF is responsible matters dealing with health. So we should have seen a hospital that should have been constructed, but it has been missing 21 years down the line, which has increased the mortality rates. In fact, it goes against SDG number 3. No, yeah, quality, no, wait. Before that, devolution. We want to reduce counties. Devolution is whereby we want to reduce, where we are dividing the counties. But now the people of Kenya, according to parliament.go.ke on 24th March 2024, proposed counties line to be decreased and Nairobi to be removed as a county. So what you're simply saying has simply been rejected by learned people out there. Please, Bishop Gatimu. If we were not learned, I believe we would not be here. So please, join us by this side. We are gentlemen. We'll carry the seats for you to this side of the stage. Thank you.
Before you today is one Ini Dwamaitha Kibiro from the Bishop Gatimu Gandu Girls High School, here to firmly oppose the motion that states devolution has done more harm than good. First, for comprehension of the motion itself, devolution refers to the transfer or delegation of power to a lower level, especially by central government to local or regional administration. In essence, it's decentralization. There's also harm, which means damage, detriment, injury. Examples, we also have the fact that in Kenya, the 2010 Constitution of Kenya is a turning point in the country's history as it reconfigured balance of power by devolving power and responsibilities according to 2017-2020-usaid.gov. Examples of countries that have a devolved government include our very own Kenya, we have Moldova, we have the Netherlands, we have the UK. I mean, should I go on? Multiple countries have been implementing this devolution of government for a reason, isn't it? Food for thought. Why are multiple countries using it if it is bringing more harm than good? That is according to www.study.com. According to this perspective, state and local preferences and conditions should really matter, not only to take into account economic circumstances and resources that can influence program effectiveness, but also to fashion welfare programs that command support and ownership within a state or locality's political culture. We are a diverse nation. How many communities do we have? How many tribes? I mean, I can't even count them all. That's your homework for you. How many communities we have. But in this very hall, we have more than 10, I promise you. All coming from different counties, 47 counties to be exact. All with different cultures, perspectives, understanding, economic standpoints, economic backbone of that specific county. And yet you're telling me that the laws that should be passed in the country should be to control everything in all the 47 counties at once? I mean, does that really make much sense? It leaves me baffled at how you can even stand to propose this motion. It is important because it ensures that decisions are made closer to home, more relevant decisions. Personally, I live in Nairobi, Kenya, right next to Kiambu, but really far away from Turkana, from Marsabit, from Mombasa. The things that affect Turkana will not affect me. The fact that they're having a drought does not affect me in Nairobi. Yet why would the government come in and say that I need to control my water use to a minimum because we do not have water? Are you saying that laws passed in Narok and Turkana should be imposed in each and every county? An area whose main economic activity, culture, perspective do not match with the other. And the point on corruption, I do not see how you can tell me that having a centralized government will reduce corruption. We are having more people accountable for each penny that goes through the government. There are more people who will be saying, you know what? This money wasn't supposed to go here, here, and here. Terming your statistic or point on corruption null and void.
It seems I'll have to give our opposers here a bit of a history lesson. In the 1950s to 60s, Kenya decided that we're about to get our independence, right? And the leaders spoke to the colonialists, and we came up with a system, much like the one today, called Majimboism, where we would have 6 autonomous regions running on their own, but at the end of the day under one country, Kenya. But of course, it failed terribly. But how so that 60 years down the line, we make the same mistake and go back to now having even more counties, 47 to be precise, that end up with the same problems. Now, I go by Alvin Washera from the Nyeri High School, here to firmly and decisively propose the motion that states that devolution has done more harm than good. Now, you all, how many here are fans of horror movies, ghost movies? How many? Well, let me give you an example of ghost workers. Not what you're thinking, but a ghost worker isn't a dead being. A ghost worker is a person who is on a payroll, but isn't really working. See, ghost workers are people who are said to be there, but not there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, according to Nation on 15th June 2024, get this, 14.17 of workers are ghost workers. So, ladies and gentlemen, our country is paying, or rather our counties are paying 14.17 people who do not exist. People who will not even be there. They are dead. Maybe some are dead. Maybe they're alive, but they're just fictional figments of people's imagination. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it brings tears to my eye when I hear of the cries of children. When I see children, fatherless, motherless, others walking without knowing where they're going to go, just because one county and another couldn't agree on where their share is. Just because one county couldn't agree that this is their part and the other is the other county's part. Ladies and gentlemen, inter-county conflicts have now become a cliche in today's country, with And get this, 17% of the 17 of the counties within the 47 counties engaged in conflicts. This includes Laikipia and Nyandarua, Nairobi, Laikipia and Mombasa, Nairobi and Murang'a, all for resources or for the sake of just a simple boundary. So, are you seriously going to tell us that the revolution has not done any harm? Devolution is still doing harm, but we are not here to demonize it. Oh, no, no, no. It was meant for good, but the articulation was the problem. Those who are left to manage it and to make it work are the problem. Now, I don't get why a school with such a big gate can't have the same big understanding of this motion. They should be able to understand and comprehend it so well. Bishop Gatimu and Gandu girls, I have respect for you, but really, you're letting me down. Ladies and gentlemen, nation, media, again, ladies and gentlemen, get this, Business Daily Africa, 27.5% Nairobi, 12.2% Mombasa, 5.9% Kiambu. Fragments of our GDP that these counties carry. Fragments of what we all own that they carry, a majority. So I don't know how they can stand here in all the audacity to say that devolution has done no harm.
You ask me how I have the audacity to stand here and speak. I'll ask you how you have the audacity to come here, stand and sing the national anthem wrong. How dare you? Second speaker, choke your history, dear history teacher. Since you wanted to teach me history, I deny. I cannot be taught history by a teacher who doesn't know. They were supposed to be 7, not 6 regions. Get it clear, dear history teacher. My name is Megan Karemi from the great Bishop Gatimu Gandu girls, here to strongly and firmly oppose the motion that states devolution has done more harm than good. You asked us if we're saying that devolution hasn't done any harm. We do agree that it has done harm, but we're saying that it has done more good. First, look at enablement of the government. The budget for different it enables the government to budget for different counties. I'll give an example, the Marsabit and Kiambu. Do you want to tell me the same amount of money that Marsabit is getting, the same amount of money that Kiambu is getting? Kiambu doesn't have needs for water. Kiambu has plenty of water and food. Whereas someone in Marsabit doesn't have food, doesn't have water, there's no pasture in there. And you still want to tell me that Kiambu and Marsabit are supposed to get the amount of money? What a shame. So how are boundaries related to devolution? Let me ask you that as a question. We're talking about the government here. When the government at large, do you want to tell me that the president should come from the state house to the village? Let me just give an example here in Mathira. Just these connected roads. Should the president come all the way from Nairobi just to make sure that one road is fixed? Isn't that the work of an MCA? Really? Devolution has done more harm? Think about it. I think the second speaker needs to reread the motion. We do agree that it has done harm, but we're saying that it has done more good than harm. It hasn't done completely harm, it has done more good than harm. 1960 to 2010, that's a 50-year difference. Why are you comparing us to what we were 50 years ago? I use the evolution theory. We are evolving, we are growing. Someone who's 50 years old, who was born 50 years ago, is not the same person they were. They are educated people. They know better. They can do better, and I'm pretty sure you know that. According to the Charles Darwin theory of evolution, we do not evolve backwards. But as you can see, the proposing team is trying to prove Charles Darwin wrong. Enhanced accountability. This enables the government to monitor how resources are used in specific counties. Of course, they won't just send funds to the counties and leave them alone. These funds have to be used for health, have to be used for improvement of infrastructure, and many other things. Of course, they have something to monitor. They don't just give 45 billion to a certain county and just let it go like that. They have to know what is happening with that. With that, I rest my case.
Of course, Kiambu does not need as much money as Turkana. Of course, Nairobi needs as much more money than other counties around. But all in all, they all need health care. I am Alvin Karaoke from the Nyeri High School, here to firmly propose the motion that states devolution has done more harm than good. First and foremost, how are we going to deal with this corruption, you may ask? 1, Mike Sonko. 2, Governor Waitito. What happened? We removed them. They are no longer in power. The problem was solved. The problem that we are bringing forth, that these leaders who are in a devolutionized system are the problem. Therefore, it has done more harm. That's why we are removing them. And in the next 5 years, we'll have another Sonko, we'll have another Waitito. Who knows who's going to be next? Maybe I'm going to be the next governor, and I'm going to be saying I'm moving rivers, and you're going to have to remove me next. Let's look at healthcare. According to ncbi.com, 20 to 50% of hospitals, a report October 2021, lack medicine. What does this mean? First of all, they're going against SDG number 3, good health and well-being. Are you saying simply because you live in Nairobi, as a person in Turkana should not have birth care for free? Is this what you are saying? Is this what you are saying? Girls in Turkana are not going to give birth, give life, bring more citizens to Kenya for free simply because there is no medicine? Let's speak of duplication. I love ghost workers. I loved how he said they are not there. But now I may be there, but you know what? They get 2 Alvins. They bring 2 Alvins to do the same job. According to Glassdoor.com, a teacher's salary is 47,500 Kenya shillings. According to Afrocave.com, on 28th November 2023, the salary of an MP is 739,000 Kenya shillings. Imagine you have 2 teachers, but only 1 in a classroom. Imagine you have another government official. There are 3 of them on the pay slip, but there's only 1 on the ground. And by the way, he's not on the ground. He's sleeping at home because he delegated the work to a random youth so he can get the next drug. What happens? You lose this money that the government needs. And on corruption, we are simply saying that, we're not saying that we're going to solve this corruption. We are simply saying that it is a problem that we cannot shut our eyes to. You cannot be told to see this is light and you say, oh no, this is darkness. You cannot say Bishop Gatimu is wearing green and I say, no, they are wearing gold. It is a problem that is there, and therefore corruption is a rampant issue today. Don't you agree? Either way, corruption is a problem that needs to be handled. And on devolution, according to Merriam-Webster.com, devolution is the transfer or delegation of power to a lower level, especially by central government to local or regional administration. Well, I've had to spell that very slowly, like ABCs, since you don't seem to understand. Because to put it simply, because you've said how does it go with boundaries, how do we devolutionize power to regional government if you don't have those regions? Where are you going to draw the line? Come draw yours and see if it makes sense.
Raphael, Alvin, you are truly gentlemen. Now, other gentlemen in the house, I want you to learn a thing or two from them. If you're looking for that special girl, if you want to do anything, if you don't have the confidence, well, you can take lessons from them. They have the confidence to stand here and sing the national anthem wrong. They have the confidence to stand here and give incomprehensible falsehood. Well, if they have the confidence to do that, then I can have the confidence to destroy their confidence, and you can have the confidence to approach that girl. Now, on to the question. You said that we do not care about the person living in Turkana, but listen. We did not say that. We just said that Turkana's problems are not Nairobi's problems. Therefore, their problems can only be solved by Turkana's government, which was specially handpicked from a pool of Turkana's people. Simple. Now, you told us that our understanding is not as big as our gates. Well, it might not be as big as our gates, but your understanding is as small as yours. Now, I am here to reiterate my first and second speaker's points. First of all, my first proposer said that decisions are made closer to home. That is fulfilling SDG 17, partnership for the goals. My second proposer said we do not have the same needs. Again, Turkana's problems are not Nairobi's problems. Why are you forcing issues? Simple. Why are you forcing issues? Now, I just like to say they are truly, truly gentlemen. You know how a gentleman should have patience? Well, since they support that devolution has done more harm than good, they have the patience to wait for someone to die since health is not devolved. They have the patience to go against SDG number 4, SDG number 3, good health and well-being. They have the patience to wait for schools to be built since the infrastructure is not devolved. They have the patience to go against SDG number 4, quality education. Now, workers, schmackers, you're talking here, ghost workers. Well, common sense. Don't you think these ghost workers are not found because they cannot be seen? If you are here, you have a battalion of people to work. For example, you have 100 workers, one person to oversee 100 workers. Now, who's to say that one person won't become a ghost worker? Well, think about it. If you had 5 people to supersede 100 workers, 5 people to supervise 100 workers, well, wouldn't it be easier to catch your ghost workers? Simple mathematics. Think. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these guys have confidence. And I say you should give that confidence to someone else because they'll use it to find the love of their lives and not to lie to people. I rest my case.
We have come before you to do one thing. We've not come here to argue over brains and grades. We have come to argue over serious government matters, of which you're going to come to deal with when you leave Form 4. So not belittle a country matter to simply saying anthems. We are here to say you have been given the stats that there have been duplicate employees. You have been given the facts that we are screaming, oh, ghost workers, but they are there. If you're not willing to listen, I don't know, how can you give employment to all these people who are supposed to manage 100 employees? How do you handle these government boundaries if they are there? They've spoken of simply that other countries it has worked. According to NCBI.com, a report in 2023, in Latin America, it failed, they took it down. In Chile, it failed, they took it down. In Mexico, they failed, it took it down. Are we simply going to listen to people who come here and just say, oh, they're saying ghost workers, oh, out here they are confident, oh, this, oh, that? Or are we going to listen to facts? And about confidence, if you're going to be a bit petty, yes, he may have had the confidence to see it wrong, but let's not forget you live in Nairobi, and Governor Sakaja in an interview in The Insider during the April holiday had an issue with everyone because he missed 17 government meetings. Explain that. Does it deserve to be another Sonko?
In the previous debates, your math was not mathing. In this debate, your points are not pointing, or rather, they're pointing in the wrong direction. You have only given 2 solid points, or 3. Is it 2 or 3? Corruption, education, and ghost workers. Now, since they cannot do mathematics, we can help them do it. Simple. We are not saying that devolution doesn't have any problems. We are just saying the good of devolution outweighs the harm that devolution has done. Now, I have diagnosed your arguments. I have sat down and I have concluded it has a condition called lack of particularity. You cannot even stand here and give us anything that can tell us that, read the motion, devolution has done more harm than good. Again, more harm than good. Now, Raphael, Alvin, gentlemen, as I have said, gentlemen, don't fight with ladies. Just accept you're wrong. I rest my case.
After a smoking semi-final debate, we expected a sizzling final debate. Has justice been done to the motion? Let's take a look. Devolution has done more harm than good. Nyeri High School. Raphael. Good start. Of course, you mentioned some rhymes wrongly, which was pointed out by the proposers. Now, you gave us some clear definition of terms. But as a first debater, we expected more in terms of the harms devolution has done. You spoke about ghost projects, corruption. we expected you to go ahead and bring on board these types of projects. You spoke about corruption. We expected you to bring on board the different types of corrupt cases we've had as a result of devolution. Technically, we expected you to bring on board the argument that devolution has now been devolved to the county level and bring evidence to that. You spoke about NHIF paying for ghost projects. I wish you could have gone an extra mile and given us which project was this and link it to devolution. So that bit did not come out so well. And then you spoke about Nairobi to be reduced as a county. I did not really see how that linked to the motion. So there was a challenge with some coherency of argument, and more solid facts could have enabled you score highly for mastery of topic. But in terms of your style and presentation, top-notch. Megan, I liked your battling. You played your role well as a second debater. However, I wish you could have gone ahead to give us more statistics and figures, especially when you say that devolution has led to equal distribution of resources.